my scrappy friends, I wanted to get on real quick before we start this process video and just kind of explain what I'm going to be doing today. I am going to be starting my series Hannah Scrap Bin again. I'm going to be doing this instead of For the Love of Homemade Kits for a little while because I have a ton of stash, like I'm sure many of you do, but it's mostly in the forms of scraps. So I'm going to be focusing on using my scraps up because I have a ton, and I actually was looking through and I don't really have as much of the larger sheets as I used to, and it's been something that I've been thinking a lot about because I absolutely love For the Love of Homemade Kits, but when you're trying to put together a kit and you don't have as many larger pieces like I do, I really do try to keep my stash lower. That's not saying I don't have a lot of stash, and that's not saying I don't have a lot of paper, but not buying paper for a while. The last time I bought anything was in September, so I really have been trying to keep my spending down because I'm on a spending freeze and I'm just trying to keep my budget in check. Also, I have so much stuff I really didn't need to buy that much, and I still don't need to buy that much. I mean, I'm hoping that now with the new releases for CHA that I can pick up a couple of the lines that are coming out or bits and pieces from it, but other than that, I really want to stay true to not buying too much so that I can use up what I have because like I said, part of the fun of it is finding ways to use your stuff, and part of it is, you know, just using what you have so you don't waste it. Like I said, I have this one and I have another one that has some bigger pieces, and then I have another one that has other bigger pieces. So I have about 3 bins that are about this size. They're not really thick, so I mean, you know, they're only a couple inches maybe, right, high, but it's all filled with just pieces, and some of them are older pieces like this Cartabello paper that I got when I first started scrapping it, and some of it is, you know, not as old, but so like, you know, like the strips and stuff. So my goal is to try to use some of this up and in the series, but I want to try to do it in a fun way so that we can find just ways together to focus on something, because I find that sometimes if I definitely don't mind just diving right in and getting into this bin for sure, and I have been using this a lot just even lately, but I really like to kind of have an idea of something when I go in and I, you know, get into this. So for my first challenge for my first layout that I'm going to be doing with this, I'm going to do a themed layout. And so my goal is to do okay, so let's start this up. So I decided that I want to do a layout. Me and my husband, our anniversary was just at the end of December, and we hit our 10-year mark, which is something amazing and super cool. And so I really want to do like a layout that has, I haven't decided if I want to use a current photo and an old photo, or if I want to do 2 layouts, and, you know, do one with 3 of these, because I have 3 photos from our wedding day, and these are like just some of the photos that like family took and then gave it to us. And unfortunately, because my storage when we got married for photos was really horrible, some of the nicer photos that we had taken of like this day, I don't know where they are. So, which is my fault. But I had this collection of like 3 photos that were taken like pretty close together in time. And so, you know, they're not perfect. I mean, we're not even smiling in this one. This one, we're looking at each other and we look really cute, but of course, this one and this one, there's the light is hitting, so they're not perfect, but they're fun. And it's a good snapshot of like what it would be like if you were sitting there watching us get our pictures taken. So I think it would be really fun to do a layout with all three of them and just kind of like, you know, behind the scenes of getting our pictures taken. And I remember when we were doing this, it was getting like, it was dinner time. My husband was super hungry and he was getting irritated because, you know, we're taking pictures and he was ready to eat because he hadn't eaten. And so like, it's funny how you remember that kind of stuff instead of like the, oh, you know, the fun part of getting everybody all together in pictures and stuff. I think we could have planned it better, but that's what happens sometimes. So, and this was taken just the other day when we went on our anniversary. It's a really crappy photo because it's in the dark. And even though I use my iPhone, I didn't think about that and had my parents take a picture before we left, but that's okay. It's okay, right? Because the memory from what we did is there, even though, you know, it's still a cute photo. So anyway, so I haven't decided if which one I'm going to use, but I want to do an anniversary layout. So I will probably try to pick, I don't know if I'll pick like reds and pinks or something, but I want to use the theme of love in my layouts. And I know that I don't do a lot of like lovey-dovey layouts and stuff, but I kind of want to have that theme of love. So whether I take some hearts and stuff from Maggie Holmes, or We Are Memory Keepers, or, you know, well, that's not lovey. But, so that's kind of what my thought process is. I could do it a whole bunch of different ways. I could, you know, just find a whole bunch of the hearts and put them together. But I really want a theme to be running across. And obviously that is love, but like I know I have, you know, like this is more Valentine's-y. I used this for my brother's album when he got married, when I did a wedding or an album for them for their gift. So I know I just have some stuff that is like, even like something like this says lovey-dovey to me. So I think that's kind of like what my thought process will be, is just finding some stuff that I think maybe goes together. I mean, because I could do something like this with, I mean, even like this could work, you know, and I could do colors like these. And with a picture that's black and white, it would definitely work. I printed it off in black and white with the idea of, one, it was a crappy photo, so I was trying to make it better. And just having it black and white, I think it helps because it doesn't look so bad. But also, it just makes it easier, right? Because these ones all have color in it, and even though our colors are red, and I mean, I know if I'll probably end up cutting these down to like 4x4 sizes so that you don't see everybody else in the background. Not that it wouldn't be fun to see that, but yeah. So that's kind of what my idea is. I'm not sure what else I have. Here's some bow ties. Like even that could be kind of fun, though that won't work with those. So I'm just going to kind of go through and see what I have in here and put a layout together with my scraps. And as you can see, I have tons of different sizes. So I'm gonna try to challenge myself and use 5 different patterns on my layout. I think that'll be one way to get something like this could work. This could be kind of fun, like a contrasting color or something. But so yeah, I want to use 5 different kinds of papers, which shouldn't be hard at all. And then, yeah, and kind of have it like pick papers that I think are, like, why do I even, I don't, sometimes I don't know what I was thinking when I saved these. Except for I probably thought, oh, I really like that color. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to pick papers that, and when I do the process video, when I, you know, go to and you see me actually making it, you'll see why I picked what I picked. I'll try to explain that a little bit more, and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, there's a few different ways that I could definitely go about doing this. I probably don't want to make it too girly, just because probably not, but we'll see. So that's where I'm thinking, and I hope you guys are excited to come along with the ride. Hey, my scrappy friends. I am about to work on this layout now. And I am using that pile of scraps that I searched through my bin for. As I kind of mentioned, I wanted to stick with a kind of theme. So I just kind of looked through my papers and kind of was trying to get an idea of what I thought some papers would be that would work for, like, more of like a love theme, and so like colors that I thought kind of went with that. And I really like the combo of like the teal and the orangey kind of colors, so, and some natural like grays and stuff. So I'm kind of sticking with that. I'm gonna use these 3 photos. These are photos that I cut down from 4x6s to kind of be more like squares, because there's a lot of extra stuff in the photos that I didn't really need. 2 of the photos you can see the, like a backlight behind us, because these were taken from my grandmother, so not the person who is taking our photos. So it's a little bit of a side view, and I'm just kind of working on how I want to assemble this. I knew I kind of wanted my pictures to be all together, because they're similar photos, so I want you to see them in succession. But in each one, we're doing a little bit of something different, and so I just kind of layered the photo so it draws your eye to each one, and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of working with these colors and thinking about how I want to do this, and not really sure. And I really wasn't. I kind of was trying to pick colors that I thought worked together. I was trying to also use about 5 or so different, at least 5 different patterns to get my papers used, because the whole point of this whole series that I'm doing, or that I started a while ago, but I just really haven't done it very well, but I really want to focus on, is just using up that stash. I have so many smaller pieces, and they're great for layering like this and tucking them in. Some of them are bigger than others, and you know, I have lots of different styles and colors and stuff, and they all kind of work together. So it's just trying to figure out what, you know, where I want things to go, and to try to make it work for the photos that I have. So I'm just kind of layering bits and pieces. It's kind of a mess right now, and you can't really see what I'm doing on the bottom, but I am kind of working on a chunk, like a cluster down there, because I knew I wanted to put something down there. So unfortunately you can't see this part, because I kind of have that big pile of papers, which is really messy. That bugs me. So I'm sorry about that. I am definitely one who likes to have my desk decently clean when I scrap. And so when I see this pile of papers, it wasn't bugging me when I was doing the layout, because I was using them and I was going through them. But now watching it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a mess. But it was working at the time. So I'm thinking that I want to put some extra other layers. So I took that tag off, and I'm gonna kind of in a minute find some other pieces. Oh yeah, and I found that sheet from Pink Paisley, and I really love the colors, and so I'm gonna cut some more of those out. I'm not a big fan of the other side anyway. It's like a yellow. I mean, I've used it and it works really well and whatever, but I really like a lot of these colors from the sheet, and I love that it has different patterns and phrases, and so I'm gonna pick out the you and me, or me and you. I'm not sure which one it says. And then there's another one that's that corally color, which is really similar to some other colors that I already have on the layout that I really think look nice. And I'm going to kind of cut that down. I kind of like it off to the side there, but I just was afraid that that was going to be too much with something down at the bottom too. So, and then I'm going to cut this down just because it's a little big, but I do like that it is a decent size. It's just, it was a little bit big for what I needed. So I just kind of cut it down. And in a second here, you're going to see, so this is a little tip that I have. And I know I've shown it before, but it's been a long time since I've done it. I don't know why, but sometimes if I have a smaller piece like this and I want to cut it and I don't want to use my scissors because I'm like the worst cutter in the world. I can't get it straight. I'll put a little bit of washi tape on it to hold it down, and that really helps because it keeps it down enough so that it doesn't move. It still seemed a little off to me, which is why I was looking on the ruler, but just kind of tilting it when I put it in so it's not completely straight anyway just helped. So I don't know if it was off or if it was just my eye or what. I mean, sometimes I think just the way that we have our patterns and papers layered on the background anyway, just kind of, you forget that it's straight and it doesn't look straight. So it's just the way our eye kind of plays tricks on us sometimes, right? But so like I said, I cut that one down too. And I really like how I have like this pink and that corally color. They all work really, really well, and they don't clash with the colors in the photos, which is really dark, like I said, because when we took our pictures, this is on our wedding day. So this is me and my husband on our wedding day, and this was 10 years ago. So I'm making this layout because it was just our anniversary not too long ago, and I want to make sure I do a couple of layouts about me and my husband. I don't do it very often, and I really should because I love him. And so I want to make sure that my kids know that, and I mean, they know it, but I want them to really know. So I also cut these pieces from this Bella Boulevard paper that I had that had all these hearts, and they're really fun, and I really love that I did this, and it really just kind of adds more of a pop of black. And so now you're seeing, and I didn't show you me going through all, like I went through a whole bunch of my die cuts and stuff, and I just picked out pieces that were colors and things that I thought that would work. I was thinking about using that story because I want to kind of put story on my layout. And so yeah. So I'm just kind of trying to figure out, and then I decided that I'm going to use this thicker style pack is like my favorite thickers. They're just like the perfect size. The glitter is just the perfect amount of glitter. I know Maggie Holmes has one that's really similar to this, but this is the Dear Lizzie one, and I love it. And I had enough to write our story, though I did kind of do the letters a little bit different, like big upper and lowercase, not the right way, because I didn't have any small O's, and I was okay with that. And so that's one thing that I like to do, and I think that kind of stretches your thickers and stuff out, is switching up the sizes where you can do that. Like sometimes it just doesn't work that way, but sometimes it does. So I also wanted to add another circle because I have that other big circle and I felt like I needed something else. I mean, I don't know. I probably could have left it and it been okay. It would have been okay. But I don't know. I just felt like I needed another circle on there and I have that other small one too. So I kind of play around with this because I wasn't sure exactly how I wanted my title, and I want it to read "Me and You, our story." So it kind of is like our story, but there's a little tag that says "Me and You," and then there's that paper also says something. Forget what it says. I should have my layout open with me, shouldn't I? It says "Me and You, our lovely story." So I think it says "lovely" on it. And so I just kind of played around with it because I wasn't exactly sure how I wanted it to fit on there. And I knew I wanted to use some of these chipboard stickers from last year's Crate Paper line for Valentine's Day. It's really cute. It has a lot of fun colors and stuff, and I have it and I need to use it. So, and this is what this is about, right? Using up my stash, using up my scraps, and I mean, we all just have tons of this stuff sticking around. So I love that I get to use it. And so I also added a couple more of these because I have a few and I need to use them, and it's just really nice. So I kind of play around with where I want them. I will say that I was a little hesitant because the pinks and stuff on with these and the reds were a little bit different color than the corally color, but in the end I just decided to go with it because one, I wanted to get rid of them, and also I thought that it worked enough that it was okay. So yeah, I moved that circle because I wasn't sure if I liked it where it was. Now, so I end up just, oh yeah, I forgot that I ended up putting it up there because I thought that it worked a little bit better up there. Though, I don't know, I kind of liked it back where it was. Just kind of play around with these hearts and figuring out where I want them, and so I don't have too many, but I have a scattering of them. In the end, I really love how this turned out. It worked out really well, and I used quite a bit of papers, and they're all layered, but there's enough white space. And then in the end, all my journaling I'm doing later, so I didn't do it when I was doing this. That's one thing that I've been really bad about lately, is not getting my journaling done well. I'm like actually making the layout. I'm like, oh, I'll go back and do the journaling. And I always do, but I need to stop doing that, and I need to stop being lazy. But I also drew this line on the outside. I really like the way that this doodle look. It really just brings everything in so your eye can see everything. And then I write the date down and I handwrite that. So here are some close-ups. I hope you guys enjoy this. I will be posting layouts using my scraps for a while so I can get them used up. And I really hope that you guys will maybe give me some suggestions for some different styles of things that you want to see me use with my scraps. And I hope that you guys play along as well. And Kona says hi. As you can hear. So I will see you guys later, and I hope you have a great and inspired week.